Okay, see how well I got you now. My thing is, at this point, is there even going to be a King of the Ring in Riyadh, Saudi?
I mean,
with the war going on. I mean, that's the thing, though. It's just like my whole thing. They got
well, I mean, you
Kuwait in
bring
the
up a
middle
good
and
point,
the
man. Like, I
entire.
didn't even think about that. I mean, they should be okay. Saudi Arabia is an ally. I don't know if shit escalates quickly, then there might be a problem with traveling to that part of the world. I don't know.
That's
You
the
bring
thing,
up a
though.
good point. I didn't even think about it.
They should be, like I was saying, you got the entire Persian Gulf between them, and Kuwait. So I think it'll be hey, what could there be more right? Even more fireworks in the background? Anyway, getting into that, we're getting into all the qualifiers, and let me see where I was at with this here. Well, here's where I get a little off going right into King of the Ring. Because, okay, now we get the setup of a lot of the qualifiers out of the way. You got Orton against Sami Zayn. And, of course, Cody Rhodes against Jey Uso. That's the thing, though. We'd like to see Orton, but I see, like some sort of run-in and questionable finishes. I get this, sticking feeling that it's Cody.
Well, I mean, Cody's got it. Doesn't he have his match tomorrow?
Yeah. No,
I feel
I think it's
feel like it'll
coming
be
here.
more. I mean, it obviously will be more compelling to have Cody versus Randy Orton. With their history.
Oh, for the finish for King of the Ring.
Yeah.
I like the sound of that. I could see that happening, but ultimately, that's why I feel bad. Randy Orton should have his own run. He should have his own deal going on, his own everything. But he's
Well,
just
he
going
will
to
when season's done.
Well, that's the thing. He's going to be. What is he going to do? He's going to be shining up Cody Rhodes even more. So I get the feeling Cody Rhodes will win King of the Ring. It would be probably, you would think, somebody younger, because I mean they keep trying to push over to, I don't know. Any one of these guys could get their push, but I think they're done with Jay.
Well, here's the thing, right? Like, doesn't Cody get a rematch anyway?
They did away with that clause, but as far as kayfabe, we just still go with it. It depends. That factor, it depends whether or not it's in the script. I hate to put it that way, but it's kind of hit. It's historically, it's been rather hit or miss, that rare aspect. But
so then he's got to earn his rematch.
So I don't know. I'm thinking that here's another one. I think they're looking to do the annual draft after SummerSlam this year.
Oh, I thought they were going to do away with it.
Well, they were pretty stiff on keeping SmackDown to 3 hours, but I think they finally got the idea and nipped it down to 2, which is going to make the show so much better.
Oh.
As it is now, going through the, just some of the updates, it's like, I mean, I could watch that 3-hour show in 20 minutes. It's not doing it. It's a lot of filler, a lot of commercials.
Seriously. The shows shouldn't be more than 2 hours, man. Like, period. Like, there's not enough content to put, not enough good content to put on there to go more than 2 hours.
Instead of the commercials. And when I mean commercials, I mean, no, it's like, this isn't commercial time. You're supposed to be doing a promo about your match or about the storyline coming into it. It's way excessive.
The matches themselves aren't that good. So it's like, if they made it leaner, it would be better.
Yeah, I was wondering what you're going to say about that, and yeah. Well, now getting into the Queen of the Ring, you're going to have the Queen of the Ring without much of a queen. Okay. This is where I get into a sinking feeling. You got Roxanne Perez and Jade Cargill. But meanwhile, on the other end, you're going to have against Alexa Bliss in a much better match. Without even seeing the Perez-Cargill match, the Alexa Bliss on their respective bad days would be a much better match, But meanwhile, I'm like, oh crap! They're gonna give it to Jade Cargill, aren't they? Make her queen.
Yeah, they have to. They have to do something with her. They've invested too much in her bullshit, so they're gonna have to give her something.
Yeah, just making her queen is going to be fun and exciting as watching an awards show.
But it's like, is the queen or king of the ring even that important? Like, no, that shit is like a throwaway.
Well, I mean, it's good for
It might have
show.
been
It's good for
something
pay per
back in
view.
the day. Yeah, I mean, it used to be its own pay per view.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the last king that we really had out of that was Baron Corbin. A number of years ago, he was the last one that actually. I mean, with the King of the Ring, some of them will carry the gimmick through, at least halfway through the year. It's not doesn't matter. It gets stale. I mean, some just keep working it, and it gets better when you get into the royalty of Booker T and Sharmell.
Yeah, man, King Booker. But yeah, I mean, what's his name was King of the Ring, right? Fucking Gunther. But like, that shit didn't matter.
Well, that's the thing. You got Sami Zayn. He's a little beat up on his own, and I can't really see him. They keep him in the main event picture, but I don't see Sami Zayn being a threat against. Well, okay, Orton, let alone well, Cena is just going to be holding on to that title until Christmas time,
I mean, that's the plan, right?
Yeah, but
little old Punk ain't gonna take it.
What was that?
I said, little Punk ain't gonna take it.
Yeah. I'm looking here too, though. It's like, what's this? I mean, no, this is at the Night of Champions 2. Punk versus Cena for the WWE title. In a one in a life. This is a one in a lifetime last situation here. I mean, this match. That's the thing, though. This match is going to be a freaking classic until the finish. Until that point,
until the finish when he kicks him in the nuts and hits him with the belt.
I was going to say, I hope they retire that soon. I did just watching. I can't take it as well. I mean, that's what it's come down to lately. Shit. It's just like a big. That's what we should do. We should have a nice organized Rochambeau battle royal.
I mean, I don't know the mechanics you saw what of that, he did but think about it. On SmackDown, man, he put him through the Slim Jim table. He should have got a fireball ladder. I want to talk about the fucking pipe bomb.
Well, we're calling it now, the reverse pipe bomb. And to that I say this, every week I had a different one, and I brought out last one that did not work. Now I got one that worked. I got my glowing whatever skull. So, yeah, this is going to be a weekly thing and a weekly tradition and whatever the hell I got going on here. So I got that. So I got this going on. Let me see if I can deal with it.
No, now I can see it. What was that, shot glass?
The crystal skull out of it, yeah. So this is, I couldn't remember, you want to talk about drinking days. It's like, I was having a good time because where the hell did I get that thing? And a rubber squirting shark and all sorts of stuff. I don't remember. We went to Orlando downtown, and I honestly have no clue.
Well, I mean, that's how it should be.
Yeah. But with my legendary drinking utensils, boom, there we go. Okay, getting into the reverse pipe bomb. I should have backtracked and take a minute to watch through that again, mostly because, okay, for whatever reason, he called out, he kicked down the fourth wall and really kind of glared into it for whatever reason. I don't know if this is, what kind of heat he has with Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nimitz there.
Apparently. Well, I mean, Claudio goes back to Ring of Honor with Punk. I mean, they go back a long time.
Yeah.
You know what it is, man? Like, I loved Cena's promo. The way he was like, you're not a fucking punk, man. You're a fucking capitalist. He was like, he's basically implying that.
Well, I don't know how much of a work it was because they call it the reverse pipe bomb or whatever, but that's the thing. Cena really took that the other way. I think it was a bit. Who else did he, like he called out everybody at one time or another in there. I'm just trying to think of like, okay, what is he calling out?
He called out Claudio. He called out Nick Nemeth and Matt Cardona.
I know that some heat with Matt Cardona. But, but that's the thing. Well, it explains why Dolph Ziggler, kind of got bumped down and kicked out. I listen to podcasts and stuff, and I still never, figured out why. But same thing with
Punk is like straight up. Cena called him out on his bullshit. He said, "You're a bullshitter."
yeah. No way.
He played the
He was
political
right
game
about
more than
Punk, and
anybody.
it was a beautiful way he delivered it. Like I said, that's why I'm actually looking forward to this in the remainder of the year, because dude, this is epic. We're gonna see some great promos because well, for many reasons, there are literally no fucks left to give for much of anybody, especially Cena at this point. So it's like, okay, zero fucks, holding on the title, to the end. Got bigger deals in the work, and even in the in-ring work, we're going to see. Yeah, you're going to see the five moves of doom, but you're going to probably see it done on like R-Truth. He's going to be just kicking it back on Cena for a lot of these. I think that's the thing. I'm thinking Saturday. Yeah, he's gonna win the match, somehow, but lose the war. Where Punk will be able to get a few one up it on him, because what does Cena carry? He got a DQ or what? Whatever. I don't see that being a thing.
I want to see Cena beat him.
Yeah, me too. That's the thing. But I would
I'm
like to see
fucking CM Punk. Like, he's just.
Yeah.
I've never been that big a fan. Like, oh, I'm the best in the world. Just fucking says who?
And the
says
whole
you.
straight edge thing, and the thing, he's just like a weird little dude. I mean, it's like, okay, he's cool and this, that, and another thing. Adams, I'm sorry, but it's the looks that would really fuck me up just talking to him. I mean, the guy looks like he smells, and I mean, that's the thing. He may be straight edge, but he looks like he's dying on fentanyl whenever you see him. I mean, he just does not look that great. But that's the thing, and he's Punk is can't. Well, you gotta be what, about let's say 50, right? Not even.
He's like 47.
Okay. Yeah, I was just gonna say my age, and that's just about right. 48. Either way, we're okay. Like a lot of us pushing 50, and a lot of things. Dealing with Punk, though, I did see him at an indie show when I was actually in college. Rewinding a number of years, and I saw him coming up. I mean, okay, he had the Pepsi tattoo, like nothing else yet. That kind of young CM Punk. Like I said, no matter what you see him, it's like I think somebody's going to try to steal my hubcaps or something. The guy's rich, but I mean, it's
that's
not
what
like
Cena's trying to say. He's like, man, it's like, you're not a punk, you're a fucking millionaire.
Yeah, very much so. But that's the thing, though. We're gonna see some more great promos throughout the year, because just zero fucks and any heat that Cena still either had with anybody or anything like that is really just gonna come out big time. But
it's
moving on.
Is that I'm really starting to like Cena a lot, and I don't even want him to be done.
What's up with that? For me, it was getting into around that R-Truth time, and it really did involve that particular storyline, and I still think it's a work. To what degree was it a work? We don't know with the Ron Cena. I should change my shirt. I feel the same way. I concur. It's like, wait, now it's like, especially when he's doing it as a heel, and the way he's just holding everything back.
He's doing the best work he's ever done, man.
Yeah, but that's why he made a decision to go ahead and go that route and be the heel. He could have been a heel at any point in the last 20 years or so, but never really did. He was always that fan favorite, and it's still, that's the thing though. I think with R-Truth back, or with Killings, it's all going to come around, and maybe Cena might actually be the face coming into WrestleMania or something. Like I said, you end up more cheering for it, and you bittersweet situation. You don't want to see him go. with this. It's
After
like,
that
okay,
promo, they were cheering for him.
yeah.
They were like fucking. Nobody was saying CM Punk, CM Punk. They were cheering for Cena.
Yeah, even when like, okay, he legitimately tore into him, and once again, how much heat or kayfabe? I wish I would like, not all the time, but sometimes I would actually like to be a fly on the wall. But if you're in a fly on the wall, and backstage at WWE, going to be in a fly on the wall for everything that comes through, and the rest, some of it I don't want to get into it. With that whole situation, how much of it is a work? How much of it was a shoot? No.
Well, did you? So I actually went on to see what the responses from the guys that he named in that promo would be. And apparently, Claudio and Cena are very good friends behind the scenes. And they're in some kind of like special coffee chat. That's why Claudio sent a picture of a cup of cappuccino and a fist pump because apparently they're in some kind of special group and Seth Rollins is a part of it. So, and then Nick Nemeth and Cardona both responded favorably.
So that was just a public shout out that he could not otherwise publicly give. So he's calling out some of his old buddies then, that's what kind of I
And he
kind of
used all
figured as
their
well.
real names.
Yeah, that's the thing though. If they're pals and talking otherwise on another type of chat, it's one way or another. It's definitely a work, and it might. That's the thing. They're in AEW. Is any of them get a call back? That could be a reintroduction as well. I don't know if they were going to go that route. I was thinking with Dolph Ziggler or something, but I'm not going to get into contracts. If anything, Cesaro might be able to come back and do something with John Cena.
Well, that's what actually, in an article that I read, it said that this might be like Claudio Castagnoli coming back to WWE also.
That's that makes a lot more sense. Well, then again, if he did that with Cesaro explicitly, we might be looking at the same thing with Dolph Ziggler. You could see Nick make a comeback.
I mean, look, Punk is probably friends with all these motherfuckers too, man. Like, that's why it's a work. But there probably is some truth to it, though, because remember, dude, Cesaro had all the fucking tools to be a world champion. He never held the world title when he was in WWE. For 11 fucking years, he was in the company. Never held the tag team titles a bunch, held the U.S. title a bunch. I'm not sure about the Intercontinental, but fucking guy is a world champion caliber talent who never got shit. At least Dolph Ziggler held the world title.
Yeah. And aside from that, they were used and abused as workhorses, especially both of them at one time or another. I mean, they were just, and they perform just beautifully every goddamn time, and it was better. It really was. But
no, Ziggler was always a good worker, man. He was always a really good worker. And
that's the thing. I don't think it was any heat. It's like any reason he got pushed down or omitted backstage or nothing. But
I don't know. He had his time, and then they weren't booking him right though, man. Like
not at all.
Then they tried to put him in NXT, and like that's a step down if you ask me. Like come on.
Even a bigger atrocity. Well, I wouldn't say bigger, but it's up there. And look what they did. Karrion Kross. One, they did nothing with him, and now that's it. They're not going to do anything with them. And all I could say is, what the shit, on so many levels. They didn't even work. They didn't even use them. They didn't even work them. And these little backstage.
They're not utilizing the talent that they have, and they're seeking out other talent to sign when they can't utilize the talent that they have.
They're not yielding the results that they want, or what happened? I don't.
Well, you're not even giving the guy fucking TV time, man. Like, all he's doing is, like, doing stupid backstage promos, and, like, he's going to wrestle Sami Zayn. Whoopie fucking do.
Yeah. That's the thing. Sami Zayn, they keep him in the main event picture, but I don't see that something that Canadian getting the strap, or if he did.
Well, you saw what Orton said to him.
Yeah.
He was like, one day you'll hold the world title, but that day's not now.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. He's not deserving of it.
No. trying to think, but that's the thing though. When you're getting into WWE, getting caught in that mid card shuffle, getting lost in the mid card shuffle. That's the way to put it. It should not happen, especially with the amount of TV time that they have. They need to fill it with more than commercials, and that's why they were stubborn about a 3-hour show for SmackDown, because you got it one solid hour out of that of actual commercials, like paid commercials. Then you probably got like another 20 minutes, built in there of their own commercials.
Right, of them advertising the next PLE and whatever.
Yeah, well, some of those are okay. Some of the more in-house ones, whatever. But we're talking about the regular, like, otherwise televised streaming and long commercial breaks. And it's Raw at least is a different structure on Netflix, but it's still...
Well, then you got Tony Khan. He's got the opposite problem. He's got all this TV time, and he fills it with bullshit. Like, he has top tier talent he doesn't even do anything with.
Yeah, no, that kills me as well. It's just like, cause that's the thing though. They want to utilize and push and get some of the young, if they want to give the younger talent that much of a push. At least let them go with
fuck
it.
their younger talent.
They give them time. I mean, how did they do so well back in the day? They kind of let the chains off, let them off the hook a little bit, fly off the rails on the mic and in the ring, and you're going to have a better product. You got to listen to you got to listen to the audience. I got to admit, to some respects, they done, but you got to listen to the talent as well. But I don't think the talent has been speaking up about none of this for quite some time.
Man, it's like Arkham Asylum over there, man.
Yeah, I'd imagine so, and I would hate to put it this way, but administratively, I would see that being so as well. This is just, yeah. But
they got to get somebody that knows how to book a fucking show.
Yeah.
Not some mark.
Getting into, our metal content, however, kind of switching gears a little bit. Right? Now, this is when I want to go, throw my jacket and my gloves and whatnot, really getting to gimmick and character. Sorry, Mike, forget where I was going with that. Big thought, big motion. And when I think about it, what was I saying about again?
I think you were going, are we going to talk about top metal moments or?
Oh, yeah. What's your all around favorite metal track?
Favorite metal song?
Yeah.
How the fuck am I supposed to answer that? Like the song that just gets me. All right, I got it.
Or album or artist. You're just about a Sabbath then.
No, man, I love metal. Don't get me wrong. I love Sabbath. I mean, Sabbath is just, I don't know, man. I just love the riffs, the doom, Ozzy, the lyrics. Geezers wrote a lot of lyrics. Bill Ward is my favorite drummer of all time. I mean, he was the rhythm section is just unmatched. Iommi is the Dark Lord. Like, I don't know, man. The fucking band was perfect. Like,
well, that's the thing, though. When you look back at that, what's the one thing that tied it all together? What is metal? Jazz, electricity, and good old Southern blues. And anyone that, when you look at Black Sabbath and Priest, and to a lesser extent Maiden, it's like, okay, it's all about the blues rhythm. It's when these blues guys getting into Geezer too. It's just like anybody that just
and I think. Sabbath was like Bill Ward was a very jazzy drummer, man. Like you listen to his like it's got such a groove to it. I think that Priest and Maiden, I think kind of took even though they're influenced by the blues, I feel like they stripped their music of that in a sense, where it was more, which made it more metal in the sense. I think Sabbath eventually did that too, but the first few Sabbath records are really heavy blues shit. Like,
but that's the thing though, that influence is always there throughout every consequential album, and even to a lot of Ozzy to this day. You get into some of these bluesy riffs, so to speak. But I just know a lot of those British bands that was the kind of the thing of it. For example, with this though, the innovation, Motorhead. Okay, where the blues come in. Okay, when a bass that's constantly, it's kind of more in the back. When Lemmy started playing the, bass guitar like it was a lead guitar, with that kind of precision and rhythm, and just to get that sound, that really, changed quite a bit. I got my should busted out.
Yeah, like Ace of Spades is like one of my favorite songs.
I try to stay away from.
Like that's a perfect song.
I try to stay away from the cliche classics though from each band. It's just like I'm more of a deep cuts
No, but I
kind
mean,
of guy.
then you just gotta look at that. I know, me too, but then you just gotta look at it objectively. Like Ace of Spades is like that shit is like a perfect song, even though it's a popular song. But it's like that's like War Pigs, man. Like War Pigs is incredible. It's been covered by so many people. It's a popular song, but it's like break it down. It's just perfection, man. But like
my whole thing
I
has
listen to
always
everything.
been. Well, you can tell from my ring gear, from my tattoos. Yeah, it's like for like that's been Priest for me. Always has been along the way. I don't know how or why with that. Why with me for that? But what I was getting to with that though, it's like okay, with that though, I know my favorite band. What is my favorite track and song? And despite that, I'm trying to stay away from some of the cliche classics though. But one of the most amazing renditions of Breaking the Law that I ever see is when they played it. Halford didn't have to sing a note. When and it's this is like a sing songy kind of thing either. This is metal. When the crowd fires sings the entire song to you and catching every little break and every little nuance throughout the song and just nails it unspeakably out of the park. That's one of those moments for me. And now, it's like, okay, we get into great moments at WrestleMania when you have Motorhead playing live. I think on more than one occasion over the years.
Well, playing what's his name's theme,
Well,
Triple
from
H.
Evolution through at least two WrestleMania entrances, live WrestleMania entrances, we're looking at our greatest metal moments in wrestling, and we just saw one with Damian Priest intro at WrestleMania.
Yeah, with Kerry King, man. Yeah,
Even
man.
I got chills. That was awesome. And you have his that was metal as fuck.
Well, I mean, dude, as soon as I saw Kerry King, I was like, shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Damian Priest is a big metal guy, like he you just.
I like Priest. He's not getting his due or chance either. We talk about talent that is currently underutilized. Once again, at least he's still in the main event picture.
I mean, at least they gave him a lot of opportunities, man. Like he held the world title. He won Money in the Bank. This is a guy that came from the indies that I'm very surprised really made it in the WWE. Kind of definitely went beyond my expectations.
Yeah.
So
what the tie-in?
They made a good push for him in NXT when he came up.
Well, my thing though, what is my all-time? What tops my list? And this may or may not, surprise you with that. We're getting into AEW. Sometime in there, Chris Jericho ended up with a feud with MJF. How is he not in the WWE? I have no idea. Talk about being a heel's heel.
Who, MJ?
Yeah,
he'll make his way over eventually.
Well,
remember, he's not even 30 years old, man.
Really? Holy cow! I was going to say, how is he not in the WWE?
He's a fucking baby. He'll be there eventually.
He's a heel's heel, though. It's a beautiful thing. But it involves that or goes through that as well. MJF had a stipulation with Chris Jericho; he couldn't use his theme music. So when you think of his success with Fozzy and the song Judas and everything like that,
oh my God!
That one time, and I don't mean when they had the
I'll tell you
chorus
this.
Singing, the intro to Judas, but when he comes out and there's no entrance music at all, no pyro, hoopla, whatever. It first starts very low, and then I don't care what size audience. It could be 5,000 people like they had, or it could be, 50,000 people. It doesn't matter if it's 50 people, if they're all on the same page like that, singing his song to him, singing Judas. And for me, that was like that is the top of my list when it comes down to metal wrestling.
Yeah,
moments.
well, I'll tell you this. Have you seen AEW live?
No, I haven't gone to a show. I've been meaning to. It's like
Right.
one of those things where they would go out of Erie, but next time they do, I really should, just for the sake of MJF's sake alone.
So I saw one show live in Buffalo.
When?
And I'm going to tell you this. This was a few years back, man. I think MJF was the champion at the time. If I'm not mistaken, I'll look at the pictures. Man, I remember first of all, it was very long, but it was like 6 fucking hours long because they shot Dynamite. This was even before Collision. So they had, what was that other show that was on? It was on Fridays. It was like an hour long. They had another show.
One of those, but they would do one filming, one taping, and the rest are black shows, dark shows for the rest of the month and stuff.
For everything. So I saw all the dark matches and everything I saw. So it was really fucking long. But I remember Jericho coming out, and it was like when the Jericho Appreciation Society was with him.
Okay. Yeah.
This was after the Inner Circle.
Right.
And they were playing Judas, and like the crowd was super quiet. I think that on television they're like making it sound bigger or louder than it actually is because, man, you can hear fucking crickets.
I've been here as kind of hearing snippets of that. They've been doing some of the old Carney tricks with the audiences as well. When they move everybody down, fill up a section, or things like that. It's just like, I mean, like, look at that. Was it the last PLE or was it a Raw or something where it's just like, yeah, we could see how filled the place is. But still, you get 16,000 people, okay, in a bowl that's made for 80 to 100,000 people. What are you going to do? But still, it's like, okay, you still had 15,000 somewhat people.
Like I saw that, what's her name, Mercedes Moné. Like when she comes out, it sounds like everybody in the crowd is saying CEO, CEO, and ain't nobody saying shit.
Yeah. Yeah, or something. A lot of the old Carney tricks with that. Well, they haven't papered the house. I'll give them that. But like I said, when it comes down to kind of closing in on sections and things like that in front of the camera side, that's one thing. And there's not a that's the thing with no matter which way you go about it. It's still Carney. That's what it comes down to. It's still carnival work, no matter at its most base, and that kind of really what it comes down to. And that's the entire language of kayfabe. It's just like this is like old school Carney stuff.
Here's the thing: that's a bad sign if this company needs to resort to Carney tricks.
Well, I don't think AEW had to do it a lot. It's certain things you hear of that. And you're getting into like old ECW, hide the negatives, accentuate the positives, and that's kind of the whole work right there. So it's just like if something fouls up, you want to kick it aside, dust it under until you could deal with it later. But that's when you get into controversial things as well. I hate to bring this one up, but maybe I won't. I was going to get into an angle around Kevin Owens, but when I started thinking Kevin Owens, I'm just like, my mind started wandering. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to go that route anyways, but it's like, that made no sense. But I wish I could, that's what I'm learning to do, verbalize myself better. But when you have so many thoughts coming in at the same time, and you don't know which one to go with, and I start talking and I make no damn sense. That's where I go. I start babbling because I was like, which A, B, or C, and they are all kind of just smashed at the same time. Trying to think where I want to go next. That in itself is a great show, with all this, I always appreciate John, and could be all the time, anytime. Just let me know, pal. I'll be here for that. But with that, though, I wish I had that in mind. I was going to say, want to talk more metal? What's a bonus topic to come up with there? I had a
The
list,
most metal. Let's see.
well,
When
what's your favorite, your uptime metal wrestling moment, or some of them?
I don't know. I don't know because a lot of the metal shit that was happening, especially in WWE, I didn't watch. After WCW got sold, I kind of just stopped watching wrestling for a while. And then I picked it back up again and like I know of all these things, all this Stone Cold shit or Motorhead or Kid Rock or this one or Living Color playing Cult of Personality or, I think the funniest shit is probably like the Misfits wrestling with fucking Vampiro in W.
Yeah, well, that whole thing was so bad, but that's what made it so good, kind of thing. That's my take on.
I just think it was fucking funny because at that time, that's like late WCW. That's like Vince Russo there fucking shit up.
Yeah.
Bischoff fucking shit up. Kevin Nash fucking shit up. Hogan fucking shit up. So
They had carte blanche over the place.
it's fucking sad, man, because I loved WCW. I loved and the way it went out was so bad, man. Like, it didn't have to go out like that. Those fucking guys destroyed that company.
They did. Well, you look in the last couple of years, the same thing happened to our country. If there's nobody at top, or the people who are supporting the person at top are going to abuse the hell out of something. And when you look at some of the bigger talent with WCW at the time, yeah, you can see that way that we had the country been running for the last couple of years. It's just like I can see where things should go quick, go off the rails here.
There's a lot. You can't just blame one person for that one, though.
Yeah, true.
Like, Hogan thought that he was larger than all of wrestling, which is what Cena's basically doing now.
Yeah. Hogan, though, is, more that, kind of comes out, he dealt with things different ways. A lot of it you're going to expect. A lot of it's just going to be, talk back spite, but all of them got, like, different stories where, okay, yeah, Hogan was hearing his reputations backstage. Let's put it that way. I think a lot of that has been more and more evident. It's not going to start coming out like, well, now you don't want to bring up Vince because no one ever wants to speak of that again. But I think that's just like stupid rumor mill, though. Where, okay, something would come up stock wise, and if they're looking to sell off WWE, could Vince buy it up? And it's like, man, that's not even kayfabe. It's just like we could get through a lot of the more nonsense stuff, but dealing with that and a lot what went down, we never know what's going to be going on with some of that kayfabe. But okay, kayfabe in a courtroom setting or what have you, things are a little bit different there. It's going to be, or it's just going to be a big a blowover and a big bluff or what have you. But I don't think that certain allegations and not, because of other arguments and things like that. No, we're talking about like light, subtle things, but a lot of them kind of supporting the argument of whatever the prosecution is going to be dealing with that whole mess. And that's why I don't want to get into that mess, though. But, you wanting to be a fly on those walls sometimes, we would know what's going on or what the hell what that was really all about. But when you get into the story, especially with the antics of wrestling backstage, it really probably was some, sophomore juvenile shit is what it probably comes down to more than anything else. If the truth is, somewhere in the middle, it's like, okay, yeah, there was just some just goofy, drunken 13-year-old sophomores bullshit. Because when you look at it, especially the fun that they had with Big Show, I think I don't know, for a big guy, I think he was kind of abused backstage to some degree. Everybody would have fucked with him at one time or another.
I mean, he's still under contract with AEW, but I mean, what the fuck does he do?
Yeah, he hasn't even, like, it's not like he walked out to the ring and just like did it, punch somebody. He didn't even do that much. He has Because
I mean,
again,
they don't even
have
use
a
him
lot
as
of
a
these guys that
commentator.
exactly they have a lot of these guys. They don't utilize them at all. And like I said, that is the stuff that you're going to want on commentary. Ron Killings on the other hand too. It's like, okay, if when he's ever all said and done, you want to keep him for to do. I want to see him do award shows. I want to see little Jimmy hand somebody a goddamn Slammy award. That's my take on it. I want to hear him do commentary. I want to hear little Jimmy do commentary. I'm going to want everything that we got going on with Ron Killings. I don't care if he's 80 years old. Unless, of course, he starts to sound like Booker T after a while. He's just like, Booker T never spoke well or that intelligently or eloquently or much of anything else. I mean, he is what he is, gangsta thug and everything like that. But geez, him on the mic is it's painful. It's yeah.
You just made me think of that.
Okay, what's the next shirt
that promo.
I want to get? Well, what with Booker T?
That promo in WCW with Harlem Heat.
Well, that's the thing. Everybody else was,
with BG.
You dropped the hard, N bomb, and it. The thing is,
Hogan, we coming for you.
Even he's all right, boy, and I don't think Gene, Mean Gene had a clue what's going on. Sherry had the best reaction, but you look at Stevie
Ray's reaction. Great.
That's right. He didn't have to say nothing. Just damn right. I was like, holy shit.
He turned around. He was like, man.
Well, that's the thing, though. It's like I can see where certain people are going to have to defend Hogan, though. It's just like, oh, her, racist rant and this, that, and another thing. And there's Booker T. It's like backstage, personally called Hogan the N-word about 5 times a day. With limited interaction backstage. You know what I mean? It's like... I don't know. Yeah, we could get into, like weird off color, whatever moments in wrestling. And they usually kind of stay tongue in cheek, but, beyond the kayfabe, it's like that can't be good or whatever when they get into. Usually going to get a harsh crowd reaction if something goes off the rails too much, but. Man. Anyway, I had my little one come down to fetch me. Like the idea too. I'm going to come up more on the metal end because I like where you went with that. I like where we're going with that. I like who we're going to bring in for that. As you can see, I kind of pushed things back a little bit, maybe because this was all my work. This is still kind of my work shit. Just eBay. This is all eBay shit back here. But it's just like, okay, I'm going to expand the studio out a little bit more. But even if I do, it's like, okay, how much more space and everything am I really dealing with? I'm going to need a real studio production if I keep up my nonsense with this. Let's get monetized first. How about that? I'm getting things together on the production, and that's going to be it.
That's it. Then we can advertise Preparation H.
No, well, in a few years, yeah, I think that's going to be the case, and that's the thing, though. It be said when you get to that point when you have advertisers like Rusty's, but that's actually not a bad gimmick or be named for our squad in a few years. It's like, okay, angry old dads. Trying to think of beautiful adjectives and whatnot. It's like, okay, you get a couple of wrestling nerds here.
Angry old bastards.
Oh, instead of that though, it's just like, okay, or back to square one. It's like I'm going to explore that ship some more though. It's like, why do we watch this shit Incorporated? You know what I mean? Why do we keep watching this shit? Why do we punish ourselves so gruesomely over punishing gruesome in-ring work? Well, that's the thing. We kick the hell out of it. If it's not gruesome and realistic, we'll give them heat if work is botched. But anyway, I love it, Mike. I don't want to leave it there, but I'm just thinking too. Same bad time, same bad channel. It works great out for you. It works out great for me. And like I said. During the week or so, shoot me a time when you're going to have that last drink of the night or something, you know what I mean? And I'll come up with getting into that, though, exploring anything I'm going to be doing is kind of explore more your background of metal and likings and praise. I got a few in comparisons, and if I ever do get the Ripper on here, God knows what the hell that schedule will be. I'll have you take lunch or something that day. I'll definitely have you on with that. My goal, because he kind of owes me one, is to have Ripper on.
Having Ripper Owens on, that'd be cool, man.
Well, dude, that's the thing though. What's been weird with me though, what has filled up my whole set list lately, and this is what I'm going to want to do a video on, and this could be an argument as well. I'm saying I'm not going out too far on a limb either. When you look at things, KK's Priest is better than Judas Priest. Now, KK's Priest only has the 2 albums, but you're also taking the 40 years that KK had with the band as well. And when you kind of listen to the 2 side by side with Judas Priest, you got to go back to Angel of Retribution to find a better Priest album. Or you might have to go even back to Painkiller to find a Judas Priest album, to find a better Priest album. And a lot of that, when you come out to, okay, what do we really like out of Judas Priest? What was the hard pumping rhythms? What was that, the American, what drew to the American nerve, whatever spikes me in the back of the head with the band? Turned out it was all KK. Okay, take nothing away from the drumming of Les Minks and whatnot, but I would still rather if they could get Scott Travis to come from Judas Priest to KK's Priest, that would be it, because KK's Priest at that point would just go down to a quartet, and you have 4 original members of Judas Priest. Basically, Judas Priest without the.
A lot
Halford.
of people do love Halford.
What about Halford?
I said, a lot of people that draws them to Priest is Halford.
Well, yeah, that's it. That's when you get to KK's Priest. It's just like, oh, it's a tribute band or whatever. It's like, it's not tribute when you have more than 50% of the band, especially for 50% of a band that's been going for half a century, like some of them have. But then again, you see other bands that got kicked around. They had umpteen different vocalists. They had tried different things. I'm trying to think of an example, but there's quite a few that kind of fell by the waysides as far as bands that were great in the 80s that kind of they weren't that big to begin with. But then again, though, if you don't have the original lineup, you don't have the original magic to some degree, and you're never going to be able to do that and recreate it. But
what had like 5 different singers.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying with what has been filling up my set list has been more KK's Priest. It's even kind of drowning out some of my Death Clock, the heavier stuff like that. But that everything about it has me not only loving metal again, but really embracing it. And that's the thing, though. It's like, okay, when you look at my jacket, I thought I was the Sentinel. So when you have the Song of the Sentinel and everything like that, that was like kind of my hero blasting in my head over the years. And you kind of every good metal song should be almost an emotional roller coaster of some sort. It should bring back a promo story, like a promo video playing in your head to about the music and to the music and things like that. And when they with KK's Priest and you get into the Sentinel and they killed off the Sentinel, and for me, that's like retiring and killing off a big chunk of me, because I always thought I was the Sentinel. That's why I kind of took some of the jobs that I did. I was that brutal guardian angel. I was that character. And the last album, after 40 years, I think that was defending the Defenders of the Faith. Going back over 40 years, and they killed off one of my characters. I mean, we're not just talking about the Sentinel. We're talking about like a couple of my Warcraft faults as well. It's just the namesake. Just when you kill off a character like that, even an obscure heavy metal icon of a character, it really breaks my heart. And everything about it, though, it's just like, okay, this is me. This is us now. With some of the heavy rhythms, and it's almost biker metal. It's almost head up to the highway. It's heading out to the highway, except two brutal, fast-paced albums, and a lot of it gets very emotional. So, like I said, my whole thing, I'm gonna make a video on that. I'll stand by my guns too. KK Priest is better than Judas Priest. Plus, you have to go back to a time when KK was still a part of the goddamn band to find anything semblance of a better album, no matter how well they shined up Invincible Shield, which is still solid, but it was a COVID piece. It was getting bored in the recording studio piece. It was good branching out of there, but nothing gave me chills. Nothing gave me that pump. Nothing gave me that old school excitement like I've been getting out of KK's Priest. And I used to don't get that a lot lately in recent years. You find yourself embracing more of the classic Black Sabbath and stuff. And we're not the only ones. When you look at the kids a third of our age and they hear their music and they have a deeper appreciation for the ass-kicking, head-butting, the head-banging heavy metal, the controlled chaos, the mosh pit rules and stuff like that they used to have. Wow, that was awesome. When they get a hold of the music, even for a track or two, you find these kids embracing stuff like, all the hippies in the 90s embraced the stuff in the 70s. Maybe part of that is generationally or changes of medium, but no, I haven't seen this many younglings going for old heavy metal than anything. They're the ones filling up the stadiums more than we did back in the day.
I feel like what you're saying, I feel the same way about Maiden. Like, granted, ever since Bruce came back to the band, which has been now, I don't know what, 25 years.
Yeah.
The albums are all like, I don't know. I don't feel anything about them. From a technical standpoint, yeah, they're good, but like, they don't make me feel anything. I don't know.
That's the thing, though. It's like when KK's Priest, it's like I want to throw on my old ring jacket again. I just want to go swinging around town, even if I can't fight. Oh, brother, I could still strut on one fucking leg. I could still strut. Or better yet, in my case, with a cane, I could strut. But so has there been I'm trying to think of a few. There was a few other bands and a few other exceptions over the years, but it's not like a generational thing where it's like, oh, everybody loves their old fuddy-duddy music and the new generation music sucks and this, that, another thing, and it's just like, nah, you get some generations of music that are good and others that are okay, glad it's over, or others that come and go, but that's the thing. Metal is timeless. Metal never dies. Metal, especially I've seen in recent decades, comes out more in commercials, and it's just like, wow. It's like, okay, it's a lot of the music, like technically and otherwise, is about 3 decades before its time. Consistently 3 decades before its time. The way metal has always been. And to a lesser extent, progressed too. But that's my take on it. Who am I to speak on these things? If Eddie Trunk, keeled over tomorrow, for God forbid, or whatever, the world will come to me, for instance. You know what I mean? Of that whole timeline and genre and generation. So, but with him, he has more Kiss knowledge than I have Priest knowledge, I think. Kind of up there. But
he loves you.
Like I said, he loves one thing. Udo. I'm trying to think. Udo Merkin, the singer for Accept. He had his own album out. And so is Udo. I was thinking, what the hell is UDO? And it's just Udo, whatever. I'm not going to try to pronunciate that name. I have enough with it's involved in his name, but it's he has his own album or two out, and I heard this, and I'm like, wow, this is hard, this is nasty, and it's except with the main singer doing his own solo gig, which in this case is better than Accept, because I didn't hear not a lot of things from Accept is on my set list. Like I said, it's been kind of taken over a little bit. But what has been is Udo's recent work. One song after another, it's like, it's consistently good and nasty. It's one of those, that kind of album. It'll give you like a Motorhead kind of feel. I don't even mean that musically to some degree. It's just, that kind of vibe that it'll give you. but like I said, it's accepted. Except it's brutal. It's kind of awesome. It's that I think it's that kind of to a lesser extent that the Priest split off too. When you're looking at Accept and. Or maybe he's just doing a solo gig, but as far as metal albums that or anything that has been out in the last 20 years, it really has been an occasion, like not all the Priest albums, like an occasional Priest album. Even Iron Maiden is like rather hit or miss album wise, but a lot of the stuff, the Ripper years of Judas Priest, kept us going through that period where this is post grunge. There's no real metal anywhere, and that's where we got that kind of that slow build up and resurgence again. And that's when we saw a lot of years of just glorious headbanging, and that's when I could get into a lot of my stories of. Great tours or things that happened musically from several things with Ripper to Motley Crue. My story about Motley Crue that would entertain you in itself. That's a good one. Next time we have a moment like that, remind me of I was going to say not only Motley Crue, but certain things like that on tour. I saw Judas Priest with Ripper. Ripper hit this one note, and I was in Philly. Knows where in Philly. I'm not the best part of Philly, but I drove into Philly for this show. And good thing it was about like they were going to do an intermission anyway, and they were coming into it, and Ripper hit a note, and it was good before. At maybe about halfway through, everything just went dead. And when I say everything went dead, they tracked it down to there of things that failed and things that blew out. They took about half an hour, maybe an hour to get things going. I don't care. I went back to the bar and got hit on by an old MILF. But still, they finally came back and they finally got restored power and everything. And it's like, yeah, about half of Philly, the entire south half of Philly was without power, that whole time. When they, where did they try to track it back, back to, actually attached to the building, adjacent to the building. I mean, that was all Ripper completely blowing out the power to East Philly for like half an hour. It's just one of those weird little metal stories. But when I get into the Motley Crue and stuff, it's you appreciate it. But I appreciate it as always, Mike. Horns up. And this is awesome. See any other nerds we get? I've been trying to get into some of my old clique as well that would kind of fit in. We'll get into maybe more of a panel, like a watch panel for pay-per-views and such. But I don't know. A lot of them, well, they retired and moved on. Others, kind of moved on. Period. And you think I'll be able to keep up with everybody this way? But yeah, not so much. But anyway, good night, Mike. If I don't talk to you sooner, I will see you next Sunday. Appreciate it, Mike. Awesome.
Bang, bang.